Welcome to Vegas Startup Scene. I'm Jason LeDuc, and this is your rundown of what's happening in the Southern Nevada tech ecosystem for the week of March 2nd, 2026. Tech Alley Henderson held their monthly event last Wednesday, and as part of the program presented the Women's Tech Pitch Competition organized by Karma Hunter, hosted by the Nevada SBDC at UNLV Office of Economic Development, and sponsored by AWS, Softchoice, Tech Alley Henderson, and Elevate Las Vegas. Designed to elevate women in technology while remaining open to all genders, the competition brought together founders building AI-driven solutions across fintech, healthcare, public safety, industrial infrastructure, cybersecurity, events, community growth, and relationship wellness. It's a lot of stuff. 13 finalists pitched live, each delivering a 3-minute presentation followed by Q&A with judges Karma Hunter, Sally Tran, Quavian Logan, and Christelle San Diego. Founders were evaluated on innovation, scalability, real-world application of AI, defensibility, and market potential. The 13 companies that pitched were Eventit, Honeymoon, Cinemetrics, Treble Monitor, the Utilize app, Zen.io, Dyad Sync, Massage Healthcare of America, GNS Technologies, Kinosora, MDE Inc., Nestle, and FAI Tech Inc. All great companies, check them out. Leslie Paz, founder of the Utilize app, was named the winner. Utilize transforms recurring financial obligations into a predictive, adaptive financial system, addressing a universal need while building scalable fintech infrastructure. There's the pitch right there. The judges awarded Leslie $25,000 in development support from Softchoice and AWS to accelerate product development and AI deployment. Congratulations, Leslie. And congratulations to everyone who's a finalist and pitched. On March 24th, AI robotics and fitness startup JewelFit and friend of the show JewelFit is hosting the highly anticipated grand opening of their new facility in Summerlin at 950 South Durango Drive, Unit 120. JewelFit uses force matching technology instead of fixed weights. The system uses robotic actuator arms that measure your force output in real time and adapts the resistance through your workout to perfectly match your strength, ensuring more muscle fiber recruitment without overloading your body beyond its safe capacity. So if you want to replace your current workout routine with 2 15-minute workouts a week, come join us for the grand opening celebration. Continuing on the robotics theme, the next LV Robotics meetup will take place on Thursday, March 26th. Join students, engineers, founders, educators, and robotics enthusiasts for another evening of hands-on learning, innovation, and community connection. The theme is robot builders, and if you're interested in the latest developments in motion control, VLM models, and zero-shot translation, this event is for you. They're still working on the speaker lineup for the event, and we'll announce that location in early March, and we'll bring all of that to you as soon as we have it. Here's a look at what else is coming up in the ecosystem for the next few weeks. SynShop livestream events Mondays and Fridays from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. each week. Vegas Crypto Group hosts Multi-Chain Mondays every other Monday at Sierra Gold on Southeastern Avenue. Crypto Clubhouse on Tuesdays from 6 to 10 p.m. at Goat Bar on West Sahara. And Web3 Wednesday on the first Wednesday of every month. That's this week. That's this Wednesday. From 7 to 9 p.m. at their new location, Loaded Empanadas in Boca Park. Not really new. I got to update that copy. Fusion 42 hosts Pitch Kung Fu online every Thursdays, and Founder Huddle is online every Saturday. Don't forget about the free co-working First Fridays hosted by Startup NV beginning March 6th this week from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 300 South 4th Street, Suite 180 in downtown Las Vegas. Going to continue every first Friday of the month. Also from Startup NV, Alicia Stacy's Founder NV Talk about finance fundamentals for small businesses at the International Innovation Center in downtown Las Vegas on March 19th. Another thing not to forget about, Next Innovate NV cohort starting March 24th. So if you're looking for that SBIR or STTR funding, get on that. And not to be outdone, Startup NV will also be doing another pitch room event on May 14th with applications due on April 16th. So get those in if you want to pitch. Lots of Startup NV news this week, but they're doing great stuff. So also, applications are open for Zero Labs Cohort 8, which will run from July 5th through 7th in Las Vegas. Last week, my guest on the Leaders Mindset podcast was multi-exited founder and Las Vegas local Michael Smith. In this clip, he talks about what the difference is between building a product and building a business.
You know, back to fundamentals. It starts with a great product. I'll say that, right? And so early on in the beginning, you can focus your attention on getting the product right as best you can, right? Pivoting that product, listening to your customers, solving a real problem. Yes. That is where you need to spend your time. However, if that product finds its path, that company now has to scale. And so you do have to build a real sustainable company. And that means you have to build something that, you know, has the customer support arm necessary to onboard your customers, to make sure that those customers renew if you're in a SaaS-based business, for example. You have to be able to support in real time those customers as needs arise. In my case, we're in a very mission-focused area with my last company in public safety. There's a huge responsibility that comes with that, right? And so how do you build in that layer of real-time support in order to ensure that your customers have what they need in critical moments? Financial, right? Understanding the financials behind your business, making sure your gross margins are where they should be, learning how to benchmark against other businesses when you're early on. You don't have enough data, but you can pull data from other organizations and benchmark against that data. Say, okay, this is where we should be spending, how much we should be spending in R&D or sales motion, et cetera. Figuring out your sales motions, one of the more complicated pieces, right? And until those are repeatable without you as an example, we all start out as founder-led sales, but until those are repeatable, you still need to figure out what those motions are and understand those in order how to scale them. So, there's many facets to the business itself that are not the product. And so focus on the product initially, yes, get that right. But there's so many other elements that you have to build together and understand how they all fit together, how the cogs all fit in order for the engine to run as smoothly as possible.
I think that's the best explanation I've ever heard of that. And it really describes the difference between someone who's a founder versus someone who's an inventor. I think we may have to take this little section of this interview and just put this up as like a tutorial on the channel as just a little highlight of this interview.
Yeah, no, it's true. And you're right. I run into plenty of inventors as well, and you can kind of pick them out pretty quickly on that front. Because usually also for an inventor, once the product feels close enough, they move on to the next product, right? That's common. They, instead of moving on to how do I now build the business in order to scale that, they move on to the next product. So it's a good point. There are a lot of inventors. I mean, we all like to invent, of course, but there's a whole different element if you want to build a business too, outside of just inventing the product. Yeah.
If you want to learn more about Mike, check out the whole conversation on the Leaders Mindset podcast. That's all for this week. Links for everything we talked about are in the episode description. If you've got news or events you'd like us to cover next week, drop a comment, slide into my DMs, I do not mind, or email me at info@leducleadership.com. We will see you out there in the ecosystem. Please send us your pics and videos from your events. We would love to show off what you're doing there. Go out there, do great things today. Onward and upward.